Hello everyone, me and team here. This battle will be against Sidra with a rating of 1,983 and a record of 470 and 455. Let's go to the replays. Now, I have managed to get enough practice where I can formally announce that I am a random player now. But this matchup will be Zerg versus Zerg. Sidra will be red and I will be in the blue. And this is obviously not going to be like my normal ZVZ matches, because we have a little bit of a nice long match here. It's not how my matches usually go, but as you will see, this one's interesting. So, okay, he goes the extractor trick. We each scout each other. We each see that the other person is not going for any sort of early pull play, so nothing too fancy there. We also both go to check expansions. At least with our overlords, of course. I know he does not do that yet, but he can tell I'm not expanding because of my opening, and likewise, well, I actually just moved over there and checked. So no foul play. Very similar on build, and we both go roaches, and we're both going to see that the other person goes roaches. So again, very similar openings, and I get an early Evo chamber to get a head start on upgrades. And nothing special here, just fights. Yeah, here I sent a drone. That's when I saw the Roach Warren. Then I got my drone snuffed out. Rest in peace. So here we have a dual Roach opening Zerg play. No Banelings, none of this all-in-ling stuff. Just Roaches on either side. I guess he saw the Evo chamber, dropped his own Evo chamber, or maybe that's something Sidra does on a normal basis, and went upgrades as well. And here we're just trying to stay ahead in the expansion game as well. But not yet. I was actually waiting for him to expand, and apparently he snuck one on me. If I'd known about this, oh man, this game would have been so different. Oh, because I moved out here, anticipating that this is about the timing, this 8-minute window here, where if they don't fast expand, this is when they'll go Lancy and want to expand. And look at the units tab here, 24 roaches to his 12. And for whatever reason, I actually have a drone lead on Sidra. That's a little surprising. I guess because he used so many on his spines. So a little bit of a faking him out there. But yeah, if I just pulled over here and checked this expo, oh, so painful. So here we got a little bit of a standoff going on. He is behind on the macro already with that much injections. I am behind a little bit, about 15 points, so it's doing better. But really, I didn't like the spines. They do bonus damage to roaches, and I'd be fighting up a hill. I didn't know about the other expansion, so I got out of there. And unfortunately, bad rally points. I'm going to be losing some overlords as well. That is very unfortunate. Hallmark of shoddy play right here from me, the man team. Even this one, come on. Well, that's what I get for waypointing and being lazy. And nope, I can't even escape, so that'll be that. Despite that, we are looking pretty similar in supply. Actually, I'm actually a little bit ahead. And despite his expansion, he's not really beating me on the harvester count. So now I'm running an expansion of my own. If you go back over to the production tab, notice that I'm starting to drone up and oversaturate and just take the expansion. You'll hear casters all the time tell you that, being behind an economy is a huge deal here. And red is ahead of me a little bit, Sidra, but in terms of harvesters, not so much. So any advantage that he has in terms of harvesters right now, I'm going to have in unit count, and it's just going to even out when this completes and I do a transfer. So not nearly as big of a deal as some people might want to tell you. I mean, yeah, it matters, though. It's not something you want to neglect entirely. Now I'm just sending Zergling scouts, still checking for an expo at the natural. If I were perhaps a little bit more experienced, I might have expected foul play, and I just run an overseer through here because he was blocking me from scouting his tech. And I noticed two things. One, that he went for Hydra, and two, that there's no air. So this is a very important part of the game when it came to strategic decision making. I'm seeing Roach Hydra without air, and that just tips me off that I should be going straight roaches. It seems like any combination of Roach Hydra is going to fail against straight roaches. So I'm just going to spam roaches. And also notice that heavily emphasizing the upgrades here. And my opponent is doing that as well. He's on level 2 Carapace, so not the worst thing. But yeah, he's running on three bases, whereas I'm only running on 2. I noticed that the supply difference, he's caught up to me now. And part of that's because I just took so long to take my third, and I should probably double expanded when I realized I had that much of a roach advantage. So another mistake on my part, making mistakes all over the place here. But biggest one, in my opinion, right now is on his side. He's getting lots of hydras against roaches, and it's just not effective. You'll see this all the time in games with Starcraft when he's casting ZVZ. And he will also advocate to just get more roaches, sometimes even 3 or 4 to 1 on roaches to hydras if you're going roach hydra, or you could just go straight roaches. So again, behind on really everything, including the harvester count now. But notice that we are getting a reasonably massed army here. I think he would struggle if he pushed on me now, just because I am +1 on him. So have that going in my favor. He is getting Carapace, melee range attack level 2, and we're working on Hive. My opponent's going Hive. So actually, when I saw Infestation Pit, that's what prompted me to attempt Hive, and yeah, I corrupted him there just last minute. And the reason I'm going Hive is I went 3-3 on my roaches. This looks like it's going to turn into one of those battles where you have 200 supply versus 200 supply, and that can just get to be a mess. So I wanted to max out my upgrades as soon as possible. Looking here. And yeah, 173. And now I'm finally taking a third, but I can do a fairly large transfer right away. And you're going to see that. Yeah, I was already sending guys down there timed for when it would complete. So that should bring us closer. Yeah, he's only up by a little bit now, a couple hundred per minute. Not as big a deal as before. Probably the biggest deal is that he had more production available to him than me with the extra hatches rather than the income. But right now we're both sitting on pretty 200 here, so it's just a question of stocking resources, who has the better units and who can retrain units more rapidly after the fact. Now one thing I have going in my favor here is I do have the level 3 ranged and carapace upgrades. I'm taking my 4th now. He's also taking his 4th and 5th. Although you have to be careful with too many harvesters, viewers, because if you have too many harvesters, your actual army size is going to be smaller. In this case, however, he's using more expensive units than I am, so his army is more expensive because he has Ultralisks. And I'm going to move out here, and finally I can slow this down because we're going to see some actual action. Working on the hatchery here. Yeah, I'm a little bit out APM'd, but I'm always out APM'd, so that's no cause for worry, right? Anyway, looking at the units, because we are about to have an engagement here, and he fungal growths me, and you have to stay on your units when you're fungal growth, because otherwise you're just going to get them picked off. Armor's not quite done yet. I am ahead on the ranged attack upgrades, though, hitting for 22. So 36 roaches, 5 infestors, 4 ultralisks, 14 hydras, against just 74 roaches. So yeah, again, there's